about it's one of the 4 or 5 episodes that Burgess Meredith happens to be in. Okay, all I could say is it's excellent, and you're not wasting your time, pardon the pun, if you watch it. My favorite episode is not being shown, I believe. My favorite episode is the changing of the guard. If you go on your computer and type in Twilight Zone Marathon, they will give you the entire schedule, and you can see what episodes, if you're familiar with them, that you might want to catch, or set up your DVR to tape for you so you could watch it at a later date. Um, like right now, they have Walking Distance, which stars Gig Young as a Manhattan um, ad agency executive who longs for the days when things were quiet in his youth. And he actually goes back in time to his old neighborhood, in the country, and he sees things as they are. And it really, the great thing about Twilight Zone is the social commentary and the comments at the end of the show by Rod Serling. And I guess all of us at some point, if we had a good childhood, if we had a memorable childhood and we were happy as children, there's always that little bit inside of us that wants to go back and recapture what we had as young kids when we were innocent, really. Okay, you didn't have the headaches of paying bills and marriage. You didn't have children. Okay, it was the only thing you had to worry about was passing your next exam and doing some studying, or there was a little bit of bullying, but not the way it is today on a computer. If there was bullying, somebody would call you a name to your face. Okay, and that was the extent of the bullying, really. But it was just a much simpler time. That's about all I could say about that. But I did forget, last week on Friday was Christmas Day, Rod Serling's birthday, December 25th, 1924. And like I said, I highly recommend that if you go on your computer and if you have Hulu or one of those, I'm sure you can get you could stream some of the episodes. Okay.
And also,
the next one that's on is called Escape Clause, and it's really, really good.
do you watch Twilight Zone at all, Elisa?
I used to.
Yeah.
I mean, growing up, my dad always watched it, so I watched it with him. And then when I was a teenager, I'd sit in the bed, and I think it came on at like
It was Friday night at about 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
That's
but
when
when I used to watch it, it was already in reruns. I mean, it'd be on like at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. I think it was midnight because at 11 o'clock, at one point you had Star Trek, but then you also had The Odd Couple. So right after those shows, the Twilight Zone came on.
I used to watch
I used to watch it.
I used to watch the original with my dad on a Friday night. It was on like around 9 o'clock. And at the end, he would say, "Okay, Mark, what was that about? Explain it to me," But it was, Serling, the reason that Serling got into problems with his sponsors was because he tried to use television as as a way to
social
comment about, the problems in society. Like, as Felix said, a social commentary. And
well, basically, he was using it as what we would use today as the internet.
Well, yeah.
It was his way of social media.
And
it was his way to speak out to the world, because he knew how many people were watching or listening or whatever. So of course he would use it that way.
But it was just, for my money, it was probably the greatest show that was ever put on television. I know a lot of people say MASH. MASH was a comedy, but MASH also was a big commentary on war, the uselessness of war, and everything. Um, I remember when I was getting out of the National Guard. You talk about, doctors being against the war and everything. The doctor who examined me was a major, and he said he was only doing it because he had to put in his 2 or 3 years after medical school. You know, he wasn't going to any advanced unit or overseas. In fact, he was even wearing a peace ring, which is something that you don't see too much of in the military. I know that a lot of the grunts in Vietnam, as they were called, would draw peace symbols on their helmets and everything. But when you were stateside, that was pretty much of a no-no.
No.
But anyway,
So we spoke about that. How about any interesting news that went on lately? I haven't listened to the news a couple of days. Any new mass murders? I'm kidding.
thank God, no.
There's nothing like that.
I do believe that there was an ISIS plot in Turkey that was foiled by Turkish police and military. They were making some bombs. They were going to set off a couple of suicide bombs in the capital of Turkey, and they thwarted that.
Yeah, I heard they were putting the bombs in turkeys, and then when the people would turn on the cooker to cook them, they would blow up.
Only you could make jokes about things like that, right?
Yeah.
Some things you don't joke about. I'm sorry.
What? Making turkeys?
You are a turkey.
Well, do you think
That's
ISIS?
the problem.
Do you think ISIS is going to be listening to me and say that's a pretty good idea?
How do you know?
Turkey with bombs.
You just gave them an idea. How do you know?
Yeah,
The next time a turkey blows up, they're going to say, "We were listening to the coffee club, and some jerk said, why not put a bomb inside the ass of the turkey?"
Yeah. So when they bake it blows.
I'm going to bring it back locally now, because I heard today, which should have been a while ago, that a certain somebody is now finally getting arrested of his...
Ah, that's right.
Oh, Uncle Bill.
As he used to be called, America's father. The best father. He even replaced Danny Thomas as the best father and Ward Cleaver and on Father Knows Best. He just took over from everybody. He was arrested. He was booked, and he has a court date of January the 14th. And of course, they made sure to say how he was very feeble, and he had an aide help him out of the car and was holding him under the arm.
He used a cane to walk.
He was using a cane. He couldn't steady himself,
And
I hope they take him for everything he has.
Well, no,
apparently, or according to what I heard today, it's not going to go very well for him because of the simple fact of this one person that this one person that they got her testimony, and apparently it's the one that they've been waiting for because it has all the evidence, and which is why it took so long for them to finally come to this conclusion and now set a date. And I'm sure he's going to be arraigned. I'm sure he's going to get arrested.
And
there's no questions about it. However, I don't think he's going to do the time that I believe he should be doing. But that's neither here or there because that's how Hollywood runs.
No, I think it was in Pennsylvania, and I believe he's being accused of 3 counts of assault.
Criminal sexual assault, it is.
Right.
I'm not sure if the sexual involved in it. That's the problem. They're talking about
No,
assault.
this I think with this testimony, with this person coming forward, it becomes sexual now.
And Gloria Allred, who is representing quite a number of the other women, said that the people that she's representing would be more than happy to come forward and give testimony.
The problem is, I don't think they can.
No, they said on the news today that they could.
All 50 of them?
I didn't say all 50. She said
Imagine that.
no, she said some of the women who she represents would love to testify on behalf of the plaintiff.
What
You
they're
know,
doing is they're taking all the evidence. They're taking each story and whatever has positive evidence, that's what they're going to use, and that's the women that are going to come testifying
well,
for.
what they want to do is they want to show that there's a pattern here. Okay,
Exactly.
you know, the
Which
same
there really
drugs.
is. I think they've already come to the conclusion that there is a pattern, which is why now they're able to go to court. So, in
Well,
the
I'm
next
trying to.
2 weeks.
This case is from 2004, the one they're prosecuting.
Right. And the stronger, I think, the stronger testimony that they've been waiting for or wanting to, or what they're going to use, that happened in 2005.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know if he was. I I don't know. I know this one is in 2004, and I thought that would be past the limitations, 7 years.
No, there's a 12-year limitation on sexual assaults.
Is
That's
there?
what they said. And this one is falling 2 weeks before the 12 years are up because they had to get all the ducks in a row, you know?
Right.
Yeah, it's really close, huh?
Yeah.
If it happened 2004, yeah. Well, listen, I only thing is I hope he gets whatever he deserves, and we'll leave it. I'm going to leave it at that. It's you got to pay for playing. You know.
I hope if he goes to prison and does some time, that all he gets to eat is Jello. You know, I think that would be fitting. After all, we all know there's always room for Jello. You know.
Absolutely. What else? Looks like
Or
Don.
as he said to Theo one time, when Theo was being just, a typical teenager, I brought you into this world and I could take you out, you know? What can I
Okay.
say?
I remember that episode.
Now, anything new with our newest combatants who are going into the ring? It's Clinton versus Trump in the verbal battle.
Well, he's actually been picking on Rubio. I heard him say today, have you ever seen anybody sweat the way Rubio sweats? Boy, that guy drinks more water. And then he said, if I don't win this whole thing, then I've been doing nothing but wasting my time. You notice a little guilt there. In other words, folks, you come into my rallies, but the important thing is you got to vote for me too. Because he's worried. He draws big crowds, but that's not to say that all those people are going to vote for him.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
Well, he's drawing the crowds because it's basically what we talked about on Monday. They want to hear what he's saying. They want to hear his mouth. Whether they feel that they want to vote for him, who knows? Most of the people, and I'm not talking for the people, but I don't know if it's clear to say that they know who they're going to vote right now. I think a lot of people again are going to wait for the next convention and then make their decisions at that point. Yes, he's got a strong following, but again, he has a strong following because of his mouth.
Of who he is, exactly.
Put the money where it is,
Well, he said starting next week he's going to start advertising.
He said he's going to spend up to $2 million a week